Hello and welcome to this week's Whiteboard Wednesday. My name is Francisco Slavin. I'm a security consultant with Rapid7, and today I'm here to talk to you about doing impact-driven risk analysis. So most people have done some prioritization within their vulnerability management program, and one common metric that most folks are familiar with is a CVSS score, usually that 1 to 10 number that will tell you how significant a particular vulnerability is. However, that 1 to 10 is not the whole picture. There are different sub-metrics within CVSS that get calculated together to give you that nice, easy 1 to 10. Sometimes it's nice to have that broad stroke, sometimes it's nice to look a little bit closer. One of the areas that you can look into are what are called impact metrics in CVSS, and those are composed of confidentiality, availability, and integrity, what is sometimes referred to as the CIA triad. Now, a vulnerability scanner can tell you which vulnerabilities have these impact metrics, and there are levels for sort of low, medium, high for each one of those areas. And that will also let you map those vulnerabilities to the assets they were discovered on by your scans. However, there's another side to this picture. You need to also be aware of whether or not those assets have confidential data if you're doing confidentiality analysis. So if you have a vulnerability with a high confidentiality risk, and that's on an asset with no sensitive data whatsoever, maybe that's not a top priority for you to focus on in remediation. However, if you do have an asset that stores confidential data, such as financial data, HR data, personal identifying information, then if that asset is discovered to have a high confidentiality finding, that would be a very significant item that you would want to focus on and remediate as soon as possible. As I said, a scanner can give you this bit. This is part of the published information about that vulnerability. A scanner cannot give you the business context that is unique to your situation that tells you whether or not that asset has confidential data. So what you really want to do is combine your technical information with your business context. Some solutions allow you to tag assets, and oftentimes you can pull that sort of information from an asset management solution or a configuration management database. So it's worth asking, seeing if you already have that data tracked in your organization with a different solution, and then to join that data together with your findings from a vulnerability scanner so that you can prioritize just that sweet spot of those assets that meet both criteria. And I've talked specifically about confidentiality here. The same would go for availability or for integrity. Availability can be particularly interesting to look at because that's something that a lot of sysadmins focus a lot on. So if you've got a group that's having difficulty understanding the significance of particular security findings, talking to them about uptime and about availability can be a very good way to cut through that communication barrier and get them focused in on some significant findings, help you drive remediation throughout the life cycle. That's it for this week's Whiteboard Wednesday. We'll talk to you next week.